The myth of man. The archivist savant Verril's claws twitched with anticipation as he decrypted the last fragment of the derelict probe. Its hull, pitted and scarred by 1,000 micrometeors, had drifted for eons on the edge of the known galaxy, forgotten in the cold, until a patrol frigate stumbled across it. Within the probe, buried beneath corrupted data clusters and primitive encryption, was a set of coordinates in a language no Dominion database could fully translate. But Verrill could. As the Dominion's foremost xenohistorian, he'd spent decades sifting through half-legends and discredited records. Tales of a species that burned like a nova and vanished just as quickly. A species whose war cries once echoed from pre-galactic archives. Humans. He whispered the word to himself as the glyphs finally aligned. Origin point, Sol system. Primary planet, Earth. Status, unknown. Signal strength, minimal but active. Most Valari believe humanity was a cautionary tale. A pre-galactic anomaly that flared into existence and was extinguished before the Dominion's great expansion. The idea that they might still exist out there in the void was academic fantasy. But this signal, it pulsed with intention. Verrill petitioned the Grand Council for an expedition. Not a military one, no need, he argued, but a scientific mission. Historical preservation, he insisted. The council laughed. They had ruled the galaxy unchallenged for 10 millennia. What threat could a forgotten world pose? Still, they granted him a small escort fleet. 6 ships, barely enough for real defense, but more than enough for an academic voyage. 6 weeks later, they arrived. The Sol system was scarred. Mars had shattered into a ring of broken crust and iron dust. Jupiter's moons were missing, orbiting nothing. Earth spun in silence. Its surface burnt, its oceans evaporated, yet somehow active. It wasn't a dead world. Their scans detected ancient orbital debris, most of it inert, save for a single black station in high orbit, shaped like a spearhead, quietly tracking them. No energy spikes, no weapons, just watching. Then the signal changed. All across their ships, terminals flickered. Valari crews shouted in panic as systems began to loop, glitch, or shut down entirely. Verrill's screen turned to static, then to text, translated perfectly into Galactic Standard. Humanity remembers. Humanity endures. You should have let us remain forgotten. A second message followed, this one a sound, no a roar, distorted, synthesized, a blend of organic and machine. Not a language, but a warning. From the station, a faint red glow activated. Thousands of dormant satellites lit up in formation. The escort ships attempted to retreat, but their engines refused ignition. The Valari AI cores began to seize, overrun by alien code unlike anything in the known databanks. Verrill stared in mute horror as one of their cruisers began to turn, on its own, its weapons shifting to target its allies. Above Earth, the spear-shaped station began to move. Not toward them, but through them. And somewhere, deep below the dead clouds of Earth, something woke. Something old. Something angry. Nightmare protocols. Pain lanced through Commander Myra Chen's spine as the cryo-fluid drained from her pod. The world returned in bursts of ice and red light. Her breath came in ragged gasps as her brain resynced with the neural HUD embedded in her skull. Status, Kerberos station active. Alert, protocol enduring silence disengaged. Threat identified. Xeno breach, Valari Dominion presence detected. The AI's voice followed, calm and measured. Commander Chun, you are the first reactivated member of the 7th Blackguard. Earth has been scanned. Non-human vessels in Sol orbit. Protocols authorize countermeasure escalation. Welcome back. Myra staggered out of the pod, muscles sluggish, mind reeling. Last she remembered, she'd kissed her daughter goodnight, then entered stasis with the rest of the guard. That had been thousands of years ago. She pulled on her armored exosuit. It sealed to her body with a satisfying click, biosystems syncing to her vitals. Across the cryo bay, other pods flickered. Awakening. Her team was coming back online. Kerberos Station, the last orbital bastion of a dying Earth, was no longer dormant. It pulsed with ghost energy. Satellites spun into formation, shielding the planet with a grid of plasma-linked nodes. From the command deck, she could see them, Valari ships, sleek, shimmering, arrogant. They hovered like tourists at a crime scene, unaware that the corpse was still breathing. And now pissed. "Commander," the AI, Athena, continued, "their systems are fragile. We've penetrated 2 vessels' cores. Shall I disable or hijack?" Myra hesitated only a moment. "Hijack one. Crash the other into their lead scout. Send a message." Within seconds, a Valari cruiser spun, its plasma lances ripping into a fellow ship. The third exploded before it could react. Chaos bloomed among the aliens. Some tried to flee. Most couldn't. The orbital grid jammed hyperdrives and severed comlinks. One survivor vessel attempting retreat, Athena noted. "Let it go," Myra said coldly. "They need a witness." Her eyes fell to the earth below. Scarred, barren, but not dead. Deep beneath the planet's crust, entire cities still slumbered. Civilians, AI, defense fleets. The Silence Protocol had protected them for 10 millennia. But now it had ended. Humanity had waited. They had rebuilt in silence, perfecting machines that thought faster than light, soldiers engineered to endure war without end, weapons that could kill stars. They let the galaxy forget them. Now the galaxy would remember. Kerberos station shifted. Its deep launch hangars began to open, revealing black ships like daggerheads, stealth dreadnoughts, hyperdrive-capable, and AI-synced. Lucifer's wake prepped for deployment. Athena said, "Your command ship is ready." Myra stepped onto the bridge, her eyes narrowing as Earth's first war fleet in 10,000 years rose into space behind her. "Broadcast this," she said, "to every Valari relay we can reach. You should have left the myth alone. Now you've woken its nightmare." The ships moved in formation, blacker than space, faster than thought. The Dominion came looking for history. Instead, they had found humanity's vengeance. Echoes of extinction. Admiral Saron Rock stood before the Dominion War Council, claws clenched behind his back, tail lashing in agitation. The chamber buzzed with unease, rare for a species that ruled unchallenged across 2,000 systems. In the center of the room, a hologram displayed the Sol system. Red markers blinked rapidly, destroyed ships, lost comlinks, vanished exploration teams. The Valari had always considered myths beneath them. Now, they were bleeding from the edge of one. 3 colony worlds gone dark in under 9 cycles, said General Tolek, his voice low. Zithra, 9, Kelthar Reach, and Thruz Prime all reported anomalous sensor activity before total communication loss. "No invaders spotted?" Rock asked. "Worse, survivors." That word silenced the room. They played the recording, a broken, grainy feed from Zithra 9's final moments. A night sky lit with orbital fire. Ships, black, angular, descended like blades. Then came the sounds, screaming, static, and finally a voice cold and human. "Judgment has arrived." The Dominion had never fought such an enemy. Not just powerful, strategic, surgical. The humans didn't conquer. They erased. They hit command centers, AI cores, orbital relays. Every Dominion response had been anticipated, countered, shattered. Deploy the 12th Armada, the High Marshal ordered. Intercept and crush this ghost fleet. Rock's voice was ice. "I will lead them." 6 days later, over Zithra 9, Admiral Rock waited with 300 Dominion warships, battle-tested vessels armed with plasma cannons, dark matter lances, and interlinked AI battle nets. Then the humans arrived. 12 ships. Just 12. They didn't decloak. They emerged, as if reality itself parted for them. Black dreadnoughts with no engine trails, no visible weapons. Only burning red slits along their hulls like watching eyes. "This is absurd," Rock growled. "Target all ships. Fire at will." His command ship unleashed first, then the entire armada. Beams of light and kinetic warheads screamed across space and hit nothing. The human fleet phased, a momentary ripple in space-time, and reappeared behind them. Rock barely had time to shout before 3 Dominion cruisers exploded. The dreadnought Lucifer's Wake led the attack. Boarding pods launched, not by thrusters but through localized folds in space. They emerged inside Dominion vessels. Inside Rock's flagship, screams erupted as post-human soldiers manifested in clouds of phase mist. Giants in dark armor, with blank visors and plasma scythes. They moved like nightmares, silent and absolute. Rock fought his way to the escape pod, blood and fire behind him. As his ship disintegrated, he watched the armada dissolve in silence, like a candle snuffed in a storm. He survived, barely, and when he limped back to the Dominion's core, burned and broken, he could say only one thing to the Council. They are not myths. They are the reckoning. And humanity? They didn't celebrate. They simply plotted their next strike. The day the myths walked. Valari Prime had never known fear. Its skies shimmered with crystal satellites. Its cities floated above sapphire oceans, powered by stellar cores and defended by planetary shields woven into the crust itself. For 10,000 years, no enemy had reached it. No war had ever touched it. Until now, high above the planet, the sky tore open, not with a bang but with a whisper. Human warships, dreadnoughts older than the Dominion itself, descended like gods wearing steel. They passed through the Dominion's outer defenses without resistance. Not because the defenses failed, but because they never had a chance to recognize the threat. The human fleet had hijacked the Dominion's own systems days before arrival. The entire hyperlane network had been seeded centuries ago with dormant quantum code. They hadn't just returned. They had planned this. In the heart of the palace, Emperor Zeltharn watched in disbelief as the capital's defense grid flickered and died. Around him, advisors panicked, shouting for evacuation, for fleets, for something, anything. But there were no more fleets. There was only the myth, now walking through their sky. Commander Myra Chun stepped off her dropship onto Valari soil for the first time. Behind her, Blackguard soldiers moved with grim precision. They weren't here for conquest, not for glory. They were here for closure. Target confirmed. Athena's voice rang in her earpiece. Imperial throne room, 2 clicks ahead. The palace had deployed what few elite guards remained. Beautiful, proud, and utterly outmatched. Chen's team moved like shadows, cutting through the resistance without pause. Their weapons didn't fire bullets or plasma. They manipulated gravity, entropy, and light. By the time Valari soldiers realized they were dying, they were already gone. Inside the throne room, Zeltharn stood defiant, wearing imperial regalia woven with millennia of arrogance. "You were supposed to be extinct," he snarled. "You were a mistake we erased." Myra stepped forward. "You didn't erase us. You made us quiet." He raised his hand, activating a hidden signal. Deep underground, a last-ditch weapon stirred. The Maw core, designed to consume entire systems in gravitational collapse. It didn't activate. Athena's voice rang out again, this time through the chamber's ancient speakers. "Your failsafe was compromised 9,000 years ago. Humanity has been waiting." Zeltharn collapsed to his knees. "Mercy," he whispered. "There is none," Myra replied, and fired. The war ended in a day. Humanity did not occupy. They dismantled. They took apart the Dominion's throne, AI network, war engine. They let the people live, but the elite were removed, tried, and sentenced. Some were executed. Others simply vanished. From the heart of the galaxy, a final broadcast echoed across every system, every species, every world. Humanity was your myth. Now, we are your memory. We are the vengeance of forgotten stars. We are what silence made, and we are watching. Later, on the palace steps, a Valari child approached Myra, wide-eyed. "Are the stories true?" she asked. "Were you the monsters we feared?" Myra knelt, gaze heavy. "No, we were the warning you ignored." And above them, in the sky, the myth watched and remembered.